Good morning. I am Chief Kevin Cornett with the Isle of Palms Police Department. We're here today to give an update and a little more information based on the arrest that we made related to the April 7th shooting on the beach. First, I want to make sure that we understand that this was an event that took place that has changed the way that at least 5 individuals look at their experience on the beach. And I would be remiss if I did not take a chance to tell them that we hope that this will give them a little bit of peace and understanding that maybe this will give a little bit of an opportunity to change their new perspective on the tranquility of the beach. But we have made an arrest related to the April 7th shooting. This is something that was done with a lot of work with our local agencies. Definitely something that the Isle of Palms Police Department relied heavily on these partnerships to accomplish that. That's why they're all here with us today. They played a critical role in helping us during this investigation. And I want to make sure I mention those: Charleston Police Department, North Charleston Police Department, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, FBI, Somerville Police Department, Charleston County Sheriff's Office, and even Mount Pleasant Police Department played a significant role throughout our investigation. What we found is that the individual responsible, Davion Singleton, came out here that day and traveled in a stolen vehicle to get here and did discharge his firearm, striking 5 people on the beach. This was he was an 18-year-old at the time and a high school senior who was participating in a senior skip day. That was something that took place out here where students from several schools throughout the Low Country came out here. He did injure 5 individuals that I already kind of mentioned. He is actually the 5th arrest that we have made. He is the shooter from the incident, though. So while we are still investigating, and we will be charging anybody else that we find in any evidence or any video evidence where they are involved in criminal activity, they will be charged as well. We have charged several other individuals, at least 3 others, with unlawful carry of a firearm. One of those individuals also had a stolen firearm. This individual, Davion Singleton, again, a senior, 18 years old, at a local high school, has been charged with attempted murder, 5 counts, possession of a firearm during the commission of a violent crime, unlawful carry of a firearm, and possession of a stolen vehicle that he used when he got out here and to leave. Again, I want to focus on the partnerships that we had here. It was all of these agencies coming together with information, sharing that information, and then we could not have done it without information and videos that were sent in from people who were out on the beach or people who were watching the beach or had those videos on their phones. They sent those in to us, and that was all very critical and very helpful in our investigation, and all of that played a major role in helping us to positively identify Davion Singleton as the shooter and to make those charges with him. With that, I'll open it up to any questions that you may have. Yes, sir.
Chief, would you be able to confirm which high school Davion Singleton went to and attended?
He was a high school senior at Somerville High School.
Can you say who he was shooting at? Were any of the 5 victims like his actual target, or were they all just...
It's hard to say at this point. We don't want to give too much information because this is still something we want to make sure that gets prosecuted to the fullest. That would be something maybe as we get a little bit further into the prosecution and the case being heard, that information will come out.
Does the police department or investigators have, are these, so far the number of people that have been charged, are these the only ones that are going to be charged? Has the investigation been concluded?
No, we are not done with the investigation. We have made the significant arrest of the individual that shot and injured 5 people. But as I said, anybody else that is identified as being involved in criminal activity on April 7th out here on the beach will be held accountable. They will be charged, and we'll go from there. So it's not closed, still open and still being investigated, but the shooting itself, we have found the individual that shot those 5 individuals.
Chief, you mentioned this was a life-changing event for the 5 victims, but what about anybody else that was out there? There was still a line of cars getting onto the beach this morning. What's your message to people that come to IOP to visit or on a regular basis?
I think the message that we want to communicate to everybody is that we are out here in law enforcement, and we will do everything in our power to make sure that anybody commits a crime out here is held accountable for that. And as you can see with everybody behind us, it's not just Isle of Palms. We all work as one team to make sure that anybody who comes out here with the intent to hurt people or comes out here and hurt somebody, we will all work together to make sure they're held accountable. So if you're coming out here, we want you to come out here. We want you to enjoy your beach. It's a great place to be. It's a tranquil place to be, and it's a very peaceful place. And we will do everything we can to keep it that way for you.
And Chief, I know in a month since, IOP City Council, they've enacted a couple ordinances to help, keep people safe on the beach. Can you just talk about that and initiatives the police department's taken since the shooting?
Certainly. One of the biggest things we did was we incorporated a permit that's required for groups of 50 or more, and we've had a lot of people that submit those permits, and we have not denied a single one thus far, but they have been very useful in identifying who the organizers are for those different events when they're taking place. That has been a big help. We have enacted a K-9 unit out here on the island. We have looked at different ways to use drones more beneficial for our investigation and to prevent things and kind of give us a bird's eye view more frequently. And we're still looking at how we can expand that a little bit further. We've also added a transport van, which was something the day of we didn't necessarily have, and we had a lot of people that were being charged, and a transport van would have been very beneficial for those, and any events like that in the future, we'll be able to use that.
What about a motive? Do you have any idea what that could be?
We know that there are groups of individuals that were involved in disputes, and we believe that some of that may have played a role in it, but again, not 100% sure with everything as far as what the motive was. That will come out probably during the trial.
Are these motives, as far as you know, these disputes, are they gang related or no?
I couldn't say right now.
So did the shooter actually know these people he was shooting at, or were they just random?
I couldn't say right now. I believe that some were probably just random, but not all of them.
And did the subject of the alleged shooter, did he have any history of wrongdoing?
No, as far as I understand, he has had a clear criminal history.
So, go ahead.
I was going to ask, was Mr. Singleton already on your radar for this, and you just was looking for evidence or trying to find him, or was this a name that just kind of popped up?
So one of the things that we have done is we've been very thorough in our investigation. And so while I realized it was back in April and now here we are in August, we're making arrests, what we wanted to do was build a very solid case and get as much evidence as we could. So any tip that came in, we were looking at it and we were combing through it. Any leads that we got, we combed through them, and we did land on Mr. Singleton and thoroughly investigate what led to this event, and as I said, positively identified Mr. Singleton as being the shooter.
And do you foresee any other, people being charged? Do you expect further, even more arrests coming forward in the next few months as you continue to work the investigation?
As we continue to look into it, I'm sure anybody we identify that was involved in any criminal activity will be charged. As far as the shooting itself goes, we have arrested the shooter, and we'll continue to look at everything else to hold anybody else accountable. I'll take 2 more questions.
You said pretty definitively that he was the individual who shot the 5 people. Do you have any indication that there was additional shots fired by a second shooter? Or was it just the one?
As far as the 5 people that we have were all shot by the same caliber. They were all shot by one individual. So that's what we've got right now. 1 more question.
I guess I'll say, is the gun that Singleton used, have you identified if it was stolen, if it was his, if it was a relative's?
It was not stolen. It has been recovered. That is part of our investigation where we were able to recover that and positively identify it to the incident that took place on the beach. Thank you all. Have a great day.